Hey folks, welcome to Kaisers Kastle, courtesy of KTRN, Castle Talk Radio Network, broadcasting from the physical manifestation of the War Room, with it being rebroadcast off the clock tower in the county of Madison. What I'm seeing now should disturb you, because things are taking shape very quickly. If you hear a little motor droning on and off every once in a while, I'm battling a flood in my basement of the castle. Yes, it is dank, dark, and it will be mildewy if I do not handle this. So, here's what I'm seeing. We're all seeing the events as they happened. We're seeing an increase, and as you look at it, the people performing the acts of mass violence, they're all lefties. They all lean left. They try to vilify everybody instantly as a right-winger. And what that tells me is they're trying to, and you're seeing it with the mass media, the way they propagate it. They're trying to initiate a division which they've already achieved with 8 years under Obabala and his partner Michael. But what I see is the division bell has been rung, and with that, they're trying to start and spark a civil war. First, they're coming for the First Amendment. Look at all the shadow banning and outright banning from most of the social media. This has been going on for a little bit. We all know it. Then, now they're pushing on the Second Amendment. They're overreaching on it. And then you have this migrant flood, this migrant train, whatever you want to call it, caravan, coming up from the south. Now this is where it gets gamey, and this is why I say it's taking shape quickly. The libtards, the left, the commies, they are overplaying their hand, and they're getting pushback on it, right? Well, with this one, I can see the play. From the 40,000 foot level, I can see what's going on both geopolitically and locally for the areas concerned. Now, geopolitically, you just look at Europe. And remember, we had our own little invasion of started with the children. You know, we needed to save these children from Honduras and Nicaragua and El Salvador and whatnot. And they threw them all throughout the country so that they could bring their parents in. Now, they're acting like they're going to come more easterly in their course of walk, but they're going to turn left, hard left. And they're actually going to, I believe, come in through California. And Trump's doing the right thing by, federalizing troops to go to the border. Border Patrol is going to need assistance on this. Same with CBP. It just got to be done, because we still have no physical barrier. We can roll out concertina wire and other things and get a two-layered fence system up rather quickly. I think that that's what the military should be doing, and probably will do. Then what you'll see, in my belief, is you're going to have a state with Moonbeam, Jerry Moonbeam Brown, right? What you'll see with him is he's going to decide to try to inhibit the federal government, to try to stop them from doing what is their constitutional duty, to protect the borders. Remember, every soldier, every sailor, airman, marine, federal LEO, state LEO, everybody swears to the same oath. To protect and defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Jerry Brown is a domestic enemy. I can say that because he's proven it. With all of his super liberal policies he's had, even when he got thrown out the last time as governor. And he hasn't changed anything. He's still a commie. Now, with that being said, he will do everything he can to stop what's going on. This is a fact. Nobody can argue with me over. Once that happens, and he was reelected, by the way, because of all the... Look, California's lost. I hate to say it, I have family that live there, but that state's gone. It is where Europe is now. It's overwhelmed with people who have no buy-in to the culture, and they've ghettoized themselves. And when I say that, they've done it to themselves. You know, when you put yourself in a community that doesn't speak English, that separates itself, or have the same religions, and you will not integrate, well, there's an issue there. A major issue. But see, this is the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. But of course, at Kaisers Kastle, within the deep walls that I have of stone, I will bring it up. Because it needs to be discussed. More speech, not less. That's my motto. And speech is the only valve to stop what they're trying to do. It's a safety valve. So, with that being said, these are taking shape very quickly. This is now brinksmanship of a governor. Yeah, California is the 7th largest economy in the world. Think about that. And yet they're going bankrupt. That same governor has no problem taking federal cash. Isn't that amazing for his state? Well, you're bankrupting yourself on your social policies. And the people there, we do have a major problem. And you know what that problem is? A lack of civics education. People don't even understand what the Constitution is. They don't understand that the Bill of Rights is their civil rights. Without that Constitution, these morons that scream for communism and socialism, what they fail to realize is that as soon as that's implemented, their speech is gone. And usually the most ardent supporters are the ones that go to the guillotine first, or the hangman's noose. See, there's a lack of institutional memory and a lack of foundational memory for this nation. And when you see these statues fall, and you celebrate this, what you see is the destruction of a culture. A culture our forebears fought for. So, with that being said, here's the big rub. This brinksmanship that Brown wants to play, because Trump will put men on the border. It's going to happen. Watch it. This will be another one of those things where you guys will be like, oh wow, it just got real. Well, yeah, it is going to get real. And all of a sudden, the deep state, the reason why they're not really going to like it is because it'll interfere with their drug trade. If you think all this stuff that the Border Patrol and everybody interdicts when it comes into America, and it's a major amount of weight, right? And yet we still have issues with it. And I'm not talking about marijuana. I could give a crap about it. I'm talking about the heroin, the cocaine, all that garbage, the meth, the daggone ecstasy, all that other crap that people ingest. Whatever. More air for me when they die from it. But the thing is, it's still coming in. For somebody to try to say the government has no hand in it, I have to call bullshit on it. Because there's no way. it would make it in. So then we're going to have the military put in between this shit sandwich. I can see where this is going, and it's going nowhere good. I think the military needs to be on the border. I'm not going to lie. But the military that's going needs to understand the reality on the game on the ground. This is almost too choice. And the left have mistaken the right. And I'll tell you what they've mistaken. They think we're going to jump out, grab our guns, and go do all this crap, right? That's what they think. But we're patient. We watch. We observe. And here's the troubling part. Once something does happen, like I said in my one thing about Civil War, my one podcast, it's not anything anybody wants to see. But when it does happen, the right are the guys who usually have served in the military, have been police officers, firemen. They've lived with guns. The country guy that goes out hunting, who's used to killing a 250 pound creature and then gutting it, and understands that all that skin is for that deer is a glad bag for the meat that it contains. And yet you want to push that person. Well, that's fine. And they mistake it for weakness. No, it's because we're patient and we hope that our elected officials actually wake up. That may or may not happen, folks. Because right now you have politicians on the left that are going for broke. They're doing by any means necessary. The old communist dictum. You know, to get the means to an end, no matter what it is. And I have called out numerous federal agencies, and I still do believe that justice needs a complete rehab from the top down. This requirement they've had for only military, well, let me rephrase that. The Marshal Service needs to take it over. And it needs to just be U.S. Marshal Service. Because all these college brainiacs they put in the FBI are so indoctrinated with SJW stuff, and even as a federal employee, as whatever agency you go for, when you take your test, if you answer it like it should be answered on what to do, oh, you're not getting that job. You have to think like a liberal to get the job. You have to answer like a liberal would do. So, just to be very clear, when you mistake kindness, patience, and forbearance for weakness, that usually is a mistake that can be very deadly. And we are talking about our republic. As I've always said, Civil War is not this sticky, wet, masturbational fantasy you think it is. It's an ugly reality that will engulf you. And remember, just like I said, refugees have a brutish, horrid, short life. For the most part. And there is nobody that's going to rescue America. And if something does happen in this country, the globalists win. And you know why they win? Because the rest of the world will fall into chaos. So watch this. If you see any things, just like the Google shooting that happened yesterday, you see these things, start looking. I'll bet money there's handlers, or they've been watched. You know, notice how all these shooters, oh, the FBI, yeah, we were watching them. We we just, oh, we didn't pass that up line. You know, we're tired of your excuses, and your excuses no longer mean anything to us, which means your agency actually means nothing to us. Like I said, the Marshal Service, please take control. And DOJ needs to be revamped. Something needs to go on, because ATF, since it went into DOJ has become dirtier and dirtier. Gunwalker, oh, do you forget that? You think the FBI wasn't involved in that? That it was just ATF? Oh, yeah, that's what happened, right? Oh, don't give me that. So, I've stated publicly now, watch anything that happens and look for the players and look to the deep state. Because right now, this is brinksmanship from a small S state governor going against the big S state president. Think about that. This is a Fort Sumter moment, maybe. You think I'm lying? You think I'm wrong? I hope I am. That's my thinking today, as my basement of Kaisers Kastle is flooding at 3:17 a.m. It's been great talking with y'all, or talking at you. Glad you sat on my big orange couch. You got yourself a cold one, or a hot tea, or a hot cocoa, or a coffee, and just relaxed and chilled out at Kaisers Kastle. Shove out.